From Nashville to Myrtle Beach, now he's ministering in song with Faith Is All You Need. Who is he? You'll meet him coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Myrtle Beach Herald. We're focused on a new album in the area, and we're visiting with its vocalist, Greg Rowles, the MC and lead male vocalist at Alabama Theater. Good morning, Greg.
Good to see you again. Thanks for having me.
After Thanksgiving, there's a lot of thanks going around. It's great to get you in.
Well, this is something that we have been working on, actually, Greg, for the last year and a half. You know, these processes always take a lot of pre-production as well as production, and then going into the post-production. And there's a lot more involved than you would think, just going in and recording it and spitting out a few albums to sell.
But this is old hat for you, Greg.
Well, you know, this marks my 26th year, Greg, in professional show business, and I'm telling you, I'm truly been blessed to be able to still do this and support my wife and 3 kids, and to still do what I love to do for a living. And more importantly for me now, as a dad of 3, not to have to go out on the road every week, but have folks come see me. And living 3 miles from the office, from the stage of the Alabama 3 has been great. What a blessing. Yeah.
Greg, when was the last time you were on the road, traveling around and being away from your family, or did you have children at that time?
Yeah, Brandy and I did, and I mean, up to a month before I moved to South Carolina, I was still playing some casinos and a couple festivals around the country. And even after I moved here, there were a couple years, I'd still go out on my weeks off in January, and I'd go back and play Harris and go play some of these clients that I had before. And I still enjoy that for a break, but I haven't done that in the last couple of years. I've actually taken my vacation time to use as a vacation.
Right, yes, which must be thrilling now. How old are your 3?
Courtney now is 9, Grayson is 5, and Ashton is 4. You know, it's fun. We have to tell the story about Ashton all the time.
Yeah.
We moved here. Brandy was pregnant. We were here for 4 days in Myrtle Beach, and we flew back to Nashville to her doctor there at Baptist Hospital in Nashville, and had Ashton.
Oh, no.
And we flew right back here and started the show.
You were kidding.
Yeah, that's show business, huh?
Now, a kid on a plane at the tail end of a pregnancy is potentially a little dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the fearful that, golly, something's going to pop.
Yeah, I think we were nervous. The doctor said, "Get on here, get on that plane, and get out here." So they were comfortable enough with Brandy's condition to fly her back out to Nashville.
And now, did your first 2 stay here in Myrtle, or like with family or otherwise, or did they come with you?
No,
I mean,
they were here. They stayed with family that we had flown in, and then we flew out to do what was necessary. And Brandy, just incredible woman. She's my hero.
Yeah, she is. You know, it's so exciting always reading a little bit about you, and to see huge inspiration always. Brandy, from the get-go, not only the biggest believer, biggest supporter, obviously biggest promoter.
She really is, and I dedicated this gospel CD to her, and one of the songs on the album is called Brandy.
I saw that.
And my love for her has gotten stronger every day, and her faith. She was on her journey, her walk, a long time before I was, and she kept praying for me, and I started my walk, and the more I got involved with my relationship with God and her, it just became more evident why I'm here and what I'm doing.
You know, it's so fascinating. Oftentimes, even though God is number one, you know, you talk about a spouse is number one, or as if it's a given that God's still always number one, first in line there. But
she couldn't love me if she didn't love him. I've always said that.
Wow. And I have heard you say that in multiple settings, and that's a wonderful thing. Real quick about yourself, Greg, for folks who may not have seen you on stage, heard you, or seen you online at your website.
Brief history?
Yeah. Are you originally from the area?
Not originally from here, from Fredericksburg, Virginia, just south of Washington, D.C.
Right.
And grew up there. And I played in a family band, Greg, with my mom, my dad, my brother, my cousin, my aunt. We played the animal circuit. You know, we played the Elks Lodge, the Moose Lodge, the Eagles Lodge, every VFW around, everywhere from Petersburg all the way up to Baltimore.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how I spent my Friday and Saturday nights as a kid. I remember going before I started playing, falling asleep on dance hall tables, watching my dad play music. And this was before the day of the club. There weren't clubs, there were dance halls. You know, people got duded up and dressed up, ties, sport coats to go to a dance on Saturday nights. And the dance hall slowly started dwindling and dying out. And in 1991, I auditioned for Opryland Park in Nashville, Tennessee.
Right.
And out of 700 hopefuls up there at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. is where they had this audition, and was hired that day to come to Nashville, which was my dream, to move to Nashville, a young, budding hopeful.
Yeah.
So I went down there and performed at Opryland Show Park for 3 years in their country music show. It's an outdoor amphitheater, 3,000-seat amphitheater.
Wow.
And did 5 shows a day.
Now, 700 hopefuls there at the Kennedy
Yeah.
Center. How many of you all ended up getting it, and have you kept up with the others?
There were 4 of us that got in that day.
Right.
We were hired at Opryland. And it's funny, we talk about this now. I do keep in touch with
Yeah,
a
I was
lot of the
wondering.
folks. And a lot of the folks that are at the Alabama Theater were run through the old Opryland School. A lot of us came out of Nashville. They searched their talent pool. They had this talent pool already established. So a lot of us have come out of that, the Opryland grind, the Opryland pool of talent. And I do keep in touch with so many. And they're right now organizing a reunion
Oh, yeah.
of Opryland performers
Oh,
for their
no.
25-year history to go, because the park closed in '97. But a lot of us entertainers obviously still stay in touch. A lot of us still work together.
Sure.
And so now they're going to do a reunion, which should be an incredible event.
Yeah, when they were doing that back in '91, would they do that all over the country? You know, we think now, obviously, as a Fox affiliate, we think of American Idol
Right.
and other performing.
Yeah. It was run the same way as American Idol or
Is
Star
that
Search.
right? Yeah.
They would go to a couple different cities,
Right.
locales, obviously the heavily popularized
Sure.
cities, and hold auditions. So the talent that came to Nashville to perform in that park, and it wasn't just country music, they had Broadway shows, larger scale shows in addition to the country music show, but all types of genres, and they were all recruited from all across America. Yeah, so I mean, most people don't realize that when they go out and get this talent, and a lot of parks still do that. They have regional auditions.
Right, right. Alabama Theater, of course, does exhaustive searches, doesn't do it like that, but does exhaustive searches all over the country to bring in
They do.
key players like you.
They do, and you know, the great thing about the theater, a lot of us now are, I don't want to say older, we're more mature.
Yeah, be careful,
After
yeah.
you get 30, you're mature. You're
Oh,
not.
yeah. I love it. You're right.
So they actually came and found me on the road. I'd worked for them before.
Right.
They were wanting me to fill this MC position, and very reluctant about doing it, Greg, because I've become rooted in the Nashville community, writing, entertaining, and so we do it. Brandy and I prayed about coming here. You know, Myrtle Beach. We'd heard about Myrtle Beach, but hadn't spent any time in Myrtle
Yeah.
Beach. Never been considered a beach guy, beach bum.
Right.
And we were here for 6 months, and we were ready to move back.
You were ready to move back to Nashville?
Yeah, we just really we didn't take time to embrace the community. And it wasn't until we started sowing some roots, and I'm talking about within a year, we were ready to call this home. And now I can't imagine living anywhere else. It has become home. And part of that is, you know, my friends.
Right.
Like you and other
Oh,
folks
there's
that
so
I've met in
many
the
folks,
community. You take away the tourists in Myrtle Beach, and it's a smaller
It is
town.
it
It's
is.
a small town, and I think
Right.
that's one of the charming things about it.
You're right.
Is that you feel like you do have a sense of community.
But now, of course, having children, as
Yeah.
they get engrossed in their own atmosphere and their friends, their friends' parents pull you in. And,
It makes it that much tougher to try
right.
to even think about relocating.
Sure.
And why? Why do that? Some of the best talent is right here on the Grand Strand.
You're right.
And the largest productions that I have ever been a part of, and I've played Vegas and I've played New York,
Oh, yeah.
you're going to find the equivalent talent here in Myrtle Beach that you would find in some of those other major venues, major cities.
Well, you know, the fascinating thing for us, the bulk of our viewers are in the PD and southeastern North Carolina.
Yeah.
As you know, less than a third of our viewers are in this huge county
Yeah,
that
and I tend to
surrounds
forget
Horry
about
County.
that. You
Yeah.
have a huge radius.
No, we do.
Yeah.
We do. And, of course, you've got that great experience with Beach TV, which serves kind of a tight niche area,
It
but
is.
reaches so many folks from all over the country are in here.
And that's given me another avenue.
Absolutely.
You know, Beach TV is, for the folks that are watching today, it's based in Panama City, Florida. They have markets in Destin, New Orleans, Atlanta, one of the larger markets,
Right.
Fort Lauderdale, and here Key West, and Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach is their second largest market. But we have a much tighter, as you said, a tighter viewership.
Right.
But
a great following. And, of
Great
course, you're all
following, yeah,
on
a lot of
Channel
fun.
45 on
Channel-
Time Warner Cable
Channel
and
45
35 in the hotels,
That's right,
I think.
yeah. Yeah.
Which obviously folks skimming around, if they're looking for another station or otherwise, or if they're looking just for y'all.
Yeah.
Which is very exciting.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's just another outlet of my creative outlet.
And Alabama Theater is real supportive of this.
Bob Wood, who is the president, CEO,
Right.
managing partner there, he's actually the one who got me involved with Beach TV. I always did their spots for the last few years for the theater with Beach TV. And the Beach TV called and said, hey, we would love for you to co-host this show called The Local News. And Bob, I actually went to him for permission to do this, and he said, well, I was the one that got you involved in this. I didn't know. He's the one that put my name in the hat, and I've had a ball doing that, Greg. To sit in your chair. People don't realize how difficult that is to interview. That's a much tougher job than being the interviewee. To come up with the questions and the research.
It would be on your thing, where they're tight segments. On something like this, it's 25 minutes. I mean, we don't have to prepare at all, because it's just kind of stream of consciousness, hearing about your background.
Yeah, and the stuff that I do with Beach TV is more infotainment.
Right, right.
It's real fun, real laid back, and real impromptu.
Which is vital. Are you able to talk about your albums on air? Are you able to talk about your albums at Alabama Theater? Are you able to get out and help promote these? Or?
Yes, the Beach TV and folks in the area have been so supportive of not only this album, but of myself and embracing, talking about being embraced in the community, becoming rooted. I know more people here, Greg, than I knew in Nashville after 10 years, in my hometown after 26 years. And it's been a great marriage for our family and my career in this area. And yes, they allow me to do pretty much whatever I want within reason, as far as cross-pollinating, as far as advertising with the theater, the TV station, the albums. Yes, it's all kind of hand in hand.
If you were had to run off to school now, or off to work, or otherwise, what's the best way for someone to reach you? Could they visit you online, or is there a phone number at Alabama Theater or otherwise?
They can get any type of music product they want by calling the theater at 272-1111, area code 843.
Okay.
And you can check us out on the web at Alabama-Theater. I believe they're going to have a graphic up on the screen, but it's spelled with an R-E, .com.
Right.
And, of course, my website at Greg Rowles, ROWLES.com. There's all kinds of different ways to reach. And the new album, the gospel album, is being carried in, as you mentioned, Donna Tyson's
got it at the Red Bow.
Sure. It's going to be. It's already at Sunrise Christian Bookstore and at Broadway at the Beach, and up in Gator Hole Plaza at the Coastal Christian Store, Donna Poulton's establishment up there. And I'm just I couldn't be happier that they're actually giving me a chance to reach folks with my ministry now. And now I'm actually having a chance to go out and sing in other churches, not only my home church, which is Ocean Drive Presbyterian up in North Myrtle, but now I'm actually getting to go out and carry my ministry and my message out to other folks around the PD.
Greg, this is truly an instance of ministry. I mean, putting together a Christian album, of course, but there's quite a bit of other, a secular aspect. You want folks to buy it of all, all backgrounds.
Yeah, and I wanted to do an album that wasn't necessarily preachy, but just inspirational.
Right.
And I think we did both with this album. There's one song that I wrote on there. A couple of my friends in Nashville that wrote, and the entire album was recorded in Nashville.
Is that right? Okay, I was about to ask.
Yeah, everything was recorded. All the instrumentation was recorded in Nashville. Everything was flown back here. Right. All the vocals, with the exception of the background vocals, were done here. Everything was sent back, remixed, remastered in Nashville, and the final product back here. It's amazing. Sign of the times. Technology.
I know that's right. And you said, of course, you began preparation for this a year and a half ago.
Yeah, picking songs.
Right.
And songs that were dear to my heart, songs that had special meaning to me, and messages that I wanted to get out.
And when you talk about picking songs, of course, there's quite a few of these you've written yourself.
Actually, Greg, on this album, only one song that I wrote.
Brandy.
No, I didn't write Brandy.
Oh, come on.
No, you know what? Brandy was actually called. Here's a good trick for you guys if you're in love. You take a song and you change the name. The song was called Emily. And it was written by Max T. Barnes, huge writer in Nashville.
Yeah.
Written, and I heard the song, and I thought, oh my gosh, Emily, ding ding ding, Brandy.
Yeah.
And so I just switched the words, switched the name. I did switch with writing one of the lines in the song, but other than that, the structure, everything, the same.
Wow. So which is the song you wrote?
It's called "Growing Takes Time."
Growing Takes Time. Right after What Children Believe, which I'm excited you put that on.
What Children Believe. A friend of mine in Nashville, Brent Lamb, who's on Sparrow Records, a huge Christian label, had sent me a bunch of guitar vocal demos of songs that he had written, and what an incredible Christian writer this is. There's a line in the song called "Faith is All You Need," and that's where I got the name of the album. It's all in that song, What Children Believe. It talks about the innocence of a child and how they see the world. Mom and daddy should stay together. Don't cheat. Don't lie. and faith is all you need. What more do you need? And that's really the basis and the premise of the album.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Greg, think back to early on days for you. Now, were your parents full-time performers, or that was a weekend gig? I mean, is that something they contemplated all the time, or?
No, you know what? They got Jeff, my brother,
Yeah.
who actually plays drums now at the Ocean Drive Press. We
You're
play.
kidding. Oh, that's right. He works down here.
He works for Burrs and Chapin in town,
Right.
and he and I play together on Sunday mornings now at the church.
That's hilarious.
But when they started this involvement, Jeff actually played a little snare drum in the kitchen, and they bought me a mandolin. And I'm left-handed. They bought me this mandolin. I tried to play right-handed, and I couldn't do that, so they switched the strings over. And within a couple months, Dad had bought me a bass guitar. So we were sitting in the kitchen, all four of us jamming, and learning very little. But we stayed in that kitchen and transferred it all to the basement, and the production got bigger.
Oh, yeah.
And they did it to keep the family together.
Huh.
How many families still eat at the table
Now,
together?
you think they thought of that?
They did.
I think it was intentional?
That's exactly what they wanted
Wow.
to do. It was a way to keep Jeff and I out of mischief.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Keep our minds
I know.
occupied. And as young kids, man, we absorbed all of our time into music.
Right.
Jeff, he kept us up at all hours of the night playing these drums, and I did the same thing with electric guitar. But it kept us focused, and I did miss a lot of school activities. I missed some football games and dances. But looking back now, Greg, those times were the best of my life. I was spending that quality time with my parents. They really set a precedence for me as a parent now. What am I doing with my kids? Kids, all they want is your time. And for us to be able to do that and share something, a common interest like music, what a gift that is. And then getting to go out and share it with all these other folks.
Right.
And then getting paid on top of that. I was, on a weekend, I'd bring home $100 at the time I was a teenager. I thought,
yeah.
$100
Oh, man.
cash.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then going out and spend it the next
in
week.
30 minutes, yeah.
It was just an incredible time, and I did that for 12 years with them. I did it up to the time I was a young adult. I was still playing with Mom and Dad on Friday and Saturday nights. And what a great time. And
Wow.
we still share a lot of those memories together.
I'm just trying to figure out how you manage your time so well, Greg. Thinking about Beach TV, thinking about Alabama Theater, obviously as the lead male vocalist and the MC there, and there's so many other folks and so many things we could talk about, but thinking about your service there at church, your obvious commitment to your spouse and to your children, how do you do it?
Yeah, well, I think like anybody else, we just divide our time. Brandy and I keep, like a lot of couples, we keep a calendar on the refrigerator.
Oh, yeah.
And if we don't write it down, we end up double booking ourselves somewhere. And she gets after me, write it down on the refrigerator. So we spend a lot of time. We have a small group that we meet on Wednesdays. She has a ladies' Bible class. I have a men's Bible class. We spend a lot of time there. Beach Tea doesn't require that many hours. We go out and we film a lot of shows within the matter of a few hours.
Right.
We try to, if they're produced well enough, we've got 6 or 7 segments we can shoot within a matter of a few hours, and I'm done for a week or sometimes 2 weeks.
Sure.
So I do dedicate a lot of time there. And the theater, I do as much work out of the theater as I do in there.
Wow.
I think that's important. As you know, in this business, you got to go out there and shake hands and meet the folks and become involved in the community. And if you don't, you're definitely not going to succeed.
Greg, you're so well recognized up and down the Strand now. Is it tough going out and doing some grocery shopping or doing anything? Obviously, you want to build a relationship with fans and
I can't
keep
imagine
folks
how
coming
big
out.
stars feel. And let me tell you, it's a great feeling to have someone come up in the Walmart at the food line and say, "We really enjoyed your show," or on the beach.
Yeah.
I tend to forget who we're playing to, and to have folks come up and take their time to actually walk up and say thanks.
Yeah.
That means a whole lot.
That's powerful.
So, Brandy, we go through the mall, and I stop and shake hands quite a bit.
Right.
You know that feeling? And
Oh, no, I do
and it's
not.
It is a great feeling. It's a great feeling to be part of the community.
Yeah.
But the best feeling of anything else is that the words Dad. Dad.
That's great.
Yeah, and I can always spend more time with them. They're very demanding of my time. They're very young.
Yeah.
And but that's my number one priority.
How was Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving was great. Let me tell you, first time in history that the Rowles family has ever deep fried a turkey.
Oh, come on.
No, I shot at a little spot for Beach TV a couple weeks ago, and we did this cooking segment about deep frying a turkey. And I said, and I love the Food Network. I come home from the theater, I watch a little Hardball, and then I watch the Food Network. So I'm going to find out what I'm doing. So I got some pointers on deep frying a turkey.
Oh, yeah.
Just a hint. Fill the pot with water first before, and put the turkey in the water to figure out how much oil you're going to need for that turkey. Just a word for the wise. Yes. For the folks that are contemplating
That's right.
any type of hot oil in the backyard with fowl.
So you had to be very careful.
Very careful, but let me tell you, I've never tasted a better turkey. So I think we've started a new tradition at the house.
That's great.
Yeah, and this year we actually we invited folks from church, but folks that I knew even in the theater, folks that didn't have family.
Sure.
And we invited everybody to the house. So this is the largest gathering we've had in our home for Thanksgiving, but what a great way to do it. And another way to minister to people, witnessing. It's a great way to do that.
If a viewer took the time to visit GregRowles.com, what would they find there? Would they be able to buy your album
The
online?
album will be online. This
Right.
album will be online actually in the next couple of weeks. Right now they can find the previous two albums, but they're going to kind of get a brief history about me.
Sure.
What I've done in the past, and what I plan on doing in the future. And well, my near future and hopefully distant future will be at the Alabama Theater.
And for folks who haven't visited the Alabama Theater, obviously you know this is a non-commercial show, and,
Yeah.
and you all step out in the community a lot, do a lot of charity events, obviously
We do.
donate your time, and all the performers do, and there's so many
We do.
folks there. When we think about all the amazing performers that have to put a show together, reading about the Alabama Theater is fascinating. But what's that like? Your first year, as you reflect back a few years back to your first year there versus now, and how the both crowds have grown and how you all have matured.
Yeah, well, I came here 5 years ago looking for a place to live and visited the theater. I'd never been to the theater before. And first of all, what a beautiful complex that it is. But I remember walking in and feeling this sense of warmth. It is a 2,000-seat venue, but it is very warm in the same sense. And I think it only becomes warmer with the way we put on a show. You're talking about pre-production. These shows are planned a year in advance.
Wow.
And we just started the Christmas show, which is huge. But that Christmas show, they were planning a year ago for this year. And they change it every single year. There's two and a half hours of just about every Christmas song, Greg, that has ever been written, and then some. And new twists on all those type of things. And we do a few stunts in the show. And I still to this day, my favorite time of year, obviously Christmas, but to see the curtain open and see these kids' faces light up. Sometimes their first experience in any type of situation like this.
Oh, yeah.
But all the incredible lighting and the costumes, and to see their faces they're mesmerized.
Yeah.
And not only them, but the kids at heart. And we have a lot of senior citizens that come and see the show. The folks that keep coming here by buses.
Right.
Coming up and down from the
all
East
over.
Coast. Yeah.
All over.
And people come back to see people. They come back to see a show. But what you're talking about, being entrenched in the community and spreading out, fans are now our friends.
Right.
People that we've gotten to see, they feel like they know us. And that makes them want to come back and see a show. They know it was a safe show to see. It was a very family show. Some of you bring your granddaughter to sing, your grandmother to see. It's one of those type of shows. There's nothing offensive in it. It's all clean. Humor is all clean. And it's a great setting to do it.
And I know when we were with you 6 months ago, focused on some area events, the Gallivan's Ferry Stump. We were there with Russell Holiday and Greg, the Herring guy, Miles Herring, doing some exciting things. Folks from Krispy Kreme and their new store up there. We talked about, and we've just got a couple of minutes, Greg, but we talked about your love of so many of the theaters on the Strand, and Carolina Opry and Dixie Stampede, and the support that all of y'all as performers have to provide with each other. Visiting legends in concert, for instance.
We're all entertainers. We have a mutual respect for what we all do.
Right.
I remember hearing about Steve Sifford and Eric and Rita Gum long before I moved here, when I was in Nashville. Steve, I'm proud to call as a friend. He's over at the Opry. Smooth as glass. That guy is incredible. I've gotten to know a few of the guys down at the Legends Theater. That's one of my favorite places to go to be entertained. And I really get a true appreciation of what I do when I sit in the chair and I see how hard they work to entertain me. So yes, there's a large community feeling with the entertainers. We obviously don't get to go see our shows that often because our schedules are somewhat the same. But during the Christmas season gives us a chance because our matinees fall on different days. So this is usually our time of year when we actually get to go out and see some of our friends at the other theaters.
I really wanted to talk about the 18 million votes cast at Star Search, and obviously Ed McMahon, and being able to announce your name as the winner that night. But we're less than a minute. We think about inspirations from your parents, working hard to keep you all together as a family, the inspiration of your wife, and obviously of your kids and of your God. How can you put into words your biggest inspiration, Greg?
my largest inspiration, of course, this walk that I continue every day with Jesus. And I hope it's okay to talk about that. And that has truly been that's where my life is focused now. It's just spreading this ministry, and now just leading my life maybe in a different manner that I did 10 years ago. Just improving on what I have, and then trying to only hone my crafts as an entertainer, and spread that with everybody that I get to meet and touch.
Great words. Thanks for being with us this morning,
You're so welcome.
Greg.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Greg Rowles coming up next. Faith is all you need. We had him in here to talk about that. We really didn't get to talk a lot about it. We did get to hear one of the key songs on there, Brandy. Emily renamed as Brandy. How exciting. You know, you think about that aspect. We did get to hear the number one in his life, Jesus Christ. It's exciting to know that someone, an entertainer who's out performing to secular as well as Christian fans, is willing to step up to the plate and say what his number one in his life is. Obviously his family, spread out up and down the East Coast, but particularly his internal family here, and all the family that were with him at Thanksgiving, getting into that deep-fried turkey. You heard his advice there. Coastal Christian Bookstore up there at Gator Hole Plaza, Sunrise Christian Bookstore there at Broadway at the Beach, and Redbow Gifts, coffee and tea. And you heard him in a couple of weeks. It'll be online at gregrolls.com. Take a look at it. Faith is all you need.